Hey guys, Saki here from SAKITECH, and in today's video I'm going to be comparing the iPhone XS Max to the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Now let's understand what Apple released in their Apple event. So they released three smartphones. They released the iPhone XS, the iPhone XS Max, and also a budget iPhone, which was the iPhone XR. At least it is supposed to be budget. It is still approximately $800. So anyway, we're going to be comparing the iPhone XS Max to the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. And just to make it easy, instead of saying iPhone XS Max, I'm just going to say iPhone Max. So first thing I want to take a look at is the actual price tag. So the iPhone Max at 512 gigabytes is $1,450. Okay, which is a ridiculous price tag. The Samsung Galaxy Note 9 also has a ridiculous price tag, even though it is lower than the iPhone Max. It is for 512 gigabyte capacity, you're going to be paying $1,250. So there's a $200 price difference between the highest version of the Note 9 and the highest version of the iPhone Max. Now you can also get the Note 9 at a base storage capacity of 128 gigabytes, which is a respectable storage for the average person, and that's going to be $1,000. However, the iPhone X Max at the base storage capacity, the option is 64 gigabytes, which is already $1,100. So if you go with the lowest grade capacities, you're saving $100 with the Note 9, but you're also getting 64 gigabytes of extra storage on the Note 9 at a loss of $100. So again, another problem here is that the iPhone X Max should have started with a minimum of 128 gigabytes at $1,000 in my opinion, but it actually starts at $1,100 for the 64 gigabyte model. In this day and age, that is actually a ridiculous starting price for that amount of storage. On top of that, for people that actually do care about a lot of storage on their smartphones, now a lot of people don't care about that, that's fine. But for the people that do care about it, with the Samsung, even if you buy the base model, using a micro SD expansion slot, you can add an extra 512 gigabytes of storage on top of the 128 you're getting with the base storage. With the iPhone, if you buy the 64 gigs, you're stuck with the 64 gigs. Okay, if you buy the 128, you're stuck with the 128. Even though they don't have a 128, it's 64, 256, and 512 gigabytes. But you do not have that expansion option. So already, we're looking at the price and we're comparing at the value of these devices for the price that you pay, and it looks like as far as storage is concerned, you're getting more with the Note 9 than the iPhone X Max, S Max, for even a lower price. Now another thing I want to bring to your attention is the video that I made where I compared the Note 9 to the iPhone X, which was the last year's model, the iPhone X from last year, the first one. So in that video, I gave the win to the Note 9 because it gave you more features in that $1,000 price range. Now the same applies to the iPhone X Max. Honestly, there's no difference. There's not a big difference between last year's iPhone and this year's iPhone. So if you look at the iPhone X and if you look at the iPhone XS, the really difference, the difference that stands out is only two things. The first one is the processor. The processor is now a A12 Bionic chip. It's superior to the processor from last year. It gives you faster stuff. But I mean, on the iPhone X, you still have a pretty amazing processor, which is already faster than the Note 9. Okay, so on the iPhone X S, you're getting an even faster processor. So when it comes to processor, the Note 9 cannot beat the power that the iPhone produces here. That's just one advantage the iPhone had over the Note 9, the faster processor. Now, with the iPhone X Max, you have a larger 6.5-inch screen, which comes closer to the large screen on the Note 9, which is 6.4 inches. And again, the Note 9 does lack the notch. The notch is still a problem. I don't like to watch movies on the iPhone in landscape orientation. It looks like the notch gets on the way. Like I keep saying, if you're watching a high definition TV and you have a notch on the side, it's going to look a little bit ridiculous, okay? So the notch is not good for consuming media. And just to be crystal clear on this matter, the notch is only bothersome for me when I'm watching a movie on landscape orientation. So the notch doesn't bother me when I'm using the phone in portrait orientation, using apps, browsing the web, making phone calls, text messaging. The notch doesn't bother me in that situation. But as soon as I take this into a landscape orientation and I go full screen on the movies that make full screen available, then the notch is in fact a problem. Okay, so just wanted to make that very clear. Otherwise, the notch doesn't bother me in the portrait orientation, the vertical orientation. But anyway, going back to my point, in my previous video where I compared the iPhone X to the Note 9, I gave the Note 9 the win. Now, with the iPhone X Max, as far as the price is concerned, the Note 9 already got the win. But it still is ahead of the iPhone as far as the overall features are packed into the smartphone. Note 9 is the best phone that Samsung has to offer. iPhone XS and the S Max is the best phone Apple has to offer. The iPhone Max is much more expensive. It's $200 more expensive than the Note 9, and it has actually less features than the Note 9. You know, the Note 9 still has that S Pen functionality. It's still got that amazing camera, so the iPhone camera is also very good. But if you look at the overall value that you're getting for the price that you're paying, the Note 9 is still ahead, and Note 9, in my opinion, is still a better smartphone overall because of how rich and deep it is as far as software functionality is concerned. There's no question that the iPhone has some advantages. The Apple app ecosystem, it is in fact superior to the Google Play Store. Especially if you are a gamer, you'll be able to play amazing looking games on the new iPhones that you're not going to find on the Note 9s. That doesn't mean the Note 9 cannot play games, but the iPhone is a better gaming device overall. But again, I keep going back to that price tag. It just keeps going up every year. If you want to buy an iPhone for 512 gigabytes, you have to pay $1,450. That's a lot of money, and you have to add tax on top of the base price. With the Note 9, you can get a 128 gigabyte Note 9 for $1,000, and you can later expand your storage. With the iPhone, if you get the $1,100 base model for the iPhone Max for the 64 gigabyte, you're stuck with that storage capacity. You cannot expand that storage. So my overall verdict is still going to be that the Note 9 is better than the iPhone XS Max. Again, just remember this key point. The Note 9 versus the iPhone X, the Note 9 is the winner. Okay, we went through all the features and I showed you why the Note 9 is ahead. Then you look at the XS and the XS Max, and the only improvements on those two iPhones over the last year's iPhones is the larger display on the Max and the new processor on both of these smartphones. That doesn't qualify these phones to get ahead of the Note 9, especially with the new higher price tags. So that is my conclusion right now. Once I get my hands on the actual iPhone XS and the XS Max, I'm going to make a full comparison video. I'm going to break it down and show you guys what I think. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you have an iPhone X? Are you going to upgrade to the iPhone XS or the S Max? Or are you going to stick with your Note 9 if you own a Note 9? And let me know in your opinion, if you want to, which one you think is better. And of course, try to stay objective. Like I said, the iPhone has its advantages, okay? But the Note 9 has more features packed into it, and it's got a lower price tag for a higher storage capacity. And of course, it's got that S Pen feature that the iPhone simply cannot match. It's a whole dimension of new functionality that basically no other phone can match. Okay, so drop your comments down below. Make sure to subscribe to SAKITECH and give this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you do use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, make sure to follow me on all @SAKITECH Online. Guys, have a fantastic day.